I think we all enjoy landscape photography in nice conditions. Sunshine, a colourful sky with white clouds, sunrises and sunsets all help us capture images which are naturally pleasing to most people's eyes. However, we don't always get these pleasant conditions, and personally I'm often in remote areas of Scotland where the weather is much more unpredictable and generally less colourful. But that's fine, in fact I see it as a positive. I enjoy being out in less than pleasant conditions for a number of reasons. The main reason is because that's simply how these remote areas are. Often it's overcast, perhaps raining, or maybe with luck there is some mist. I feel the images I capture on these days genuinely reflect the raw feel of these places. The second reason I enjoy capturing images in poor weather conditions is because I feel the images are very honest. They never need much processing. In fact, to over-process their colour would result in images which look false. In the world of digital, I appreciate images which, as much as is possible, represent the scene I captured accurately. I feel that moody images captured in less favourable conditions are not always received as well as bright colourful images, and they probably won't get as many likes on social media. However, I think it's important to take images for yourself, to take images which mean something to you, and to not seek likes or words of praise from others. That's why I continue to enjoy this type of photography, as well as appreciating those stunning sunrises too. Hello everyone, you're joining me today on quite an interesting day in terms of weather. I knew the forecast was pretty much terrible for today, lots of heavy rain the whole day, and at the moment, although I've been out for a few hours, this is the lightest the rain has been. It's almost off at the moment, but there's still a fairly consistent light rain, but compared to what it's been earlier on, it feels like it's almost off. But the reason I've come out in such conditions is because when I'm travelling around doing photography, landscape photography in remote areas, typically these are the type of conditions that I see. Now, I don't want to paint a bleak picture, but typically it can be quite overcast. There can be a lot of low cloud. Sometimes you're fortunate and get mist, but there can be rain and so on. So it's not always fantastic sunlight, colour in the sky, rays of light coming through the clouds and so on. Quite often you could say it's quite bleak, or some people may say it's quite bleak, but I personally find it quite beautiful, and I really like photographing in these types of conditions. So that's why I've come out today. Even though to most people the weather forecast would be awful, I was keen to come out. So this is what I'm photographing here behind me. I really like the shape of this tree, the colour and the bark and so on. And then we've got this wonderful hills and peaks off in the distance, and the low cloud and mist is just swirling over them. So at times it's pretty much covered in mist, but at other times it's clearing a little bit like it is at the moment, and you can see some of the ridges and peaks. I apologise if there's some rain on the camera at the moment, but there's not much I can do about that, unfortunately. Then we've got this wonderful stretch of rocky shoreline here, which I framed up my shot so it sort of leads you off into the distance. And this tree here is nicely leaning over the mountain and hills in the distance as well. And we've got some interesting trees just off in the distance, which will be at the bottom right of my image. So these are the type of conditions I wanted to capture today, and I'm really pleased with this shot. I'll be happy if this is the only image I'll get today, but I am going to have a look around and see if I can capture something else. But For now, I'm actually going to quickly grab another shot because I quite like the look of the mist and cloud in the hill, so I'll go and do that just now. So as I said, I really like the look of the conditions at the moment. I'm going to grab this shot quickly, so I'm focused on the tree. F8 is going to give me everything sharp in this image, and I do want the whole image sharp in this particular case. So focused on the tree, that's the main subject, F8. And that looks really, really nice. I think it's a very atmospheric image. I think it's beautiful. It's got a remote, rugged look. And I'm just really, really pleased with this. I actually prefer this to photographing these types of locations in bright sunlight. So I'm really pleased with this image, and I hope you like it as much as I do. So this is the next image that I'm capturing today, and it really is a stunning scene. We've got this really nice peak off in the distance behind me here, which the mist and low cloud is slowly blowing past. So the composition of this image is obviously key, and I'm taking in some water at the bottom of the image, and then there's two rocky sections just at the edge of the water, which I think are going to sit nicely near the base of the image. We've got a really nice tree just above one of the rocks, and that's going to be sort of to the lower right of my image. Then on the hill off in the distance, we've got a really nice channel of running water which runs down from the top towards that actual tree. And I think I've framed it up quite nicely, this image. The mist is drifting past the mountain peak all the time, so the scene is changing how it looks every few seconds really. But really is a very atmospheric, nice image. So it looks quite nice at the moment, but I've also captured a couple of images where the peak has just been visible through the actual low clouds and mist. So I'm not really sure which one I'll prefer, but we'll see that when we get to post-processing. In terms of focusing, I'm focusing on the nearest bank to me just across the water here, and with an aperture again of f8, it's getting everything sharp in the image, which I do want in this particular case again. But I'm going to take one just now. I don't know if this is the actual image that I'll end up using. But again, no need for filters today, and that's really important because I'm using the lens hood just to protect the lens from rain as much as possible today. But I really like the look of the low clouds, so I'm going to take this shot, and it does look really, really nice. So I'm quite keen to get home and post-process this one. So that's going to be it for this video. It's all been about trying to make the most of the conditions. I've deliberately headed out in conditions which aren't ideal today. The rain at the moment isn't too heavy, it's never went off, but there has been some very heavy spells of rain. But I knew I was going to get some quite atmospheric conditions, and as I talked about earlier, that's really what I like shooting my landscape images in. But as always, I hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in my next one.